Good evening, and welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, September 19th. We are brought to you by Sterling Automotive. How's everybody doing today? Is everybody a lot happier than they were a couple weeks ago? I know you are. You've been smiling since you got in here. Jack took some fire videos on the field. Hey, so good that I thought that he mooched them from somebody else.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I didn't know. Well, I didn't.
No love.
I thought he was on
No
there like
love for
taking
the
pictures.
talent.
I didn't know he was taking videos, and I'm thinking like, damn, he's up. Hey, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Those are fire. Banging on Twitter.
Good weekend, Cash.
Great weekend. Great weekend.
weekend.
Great weekend. We're gonna get to the Heineken headlines right now before we really dive into the game. We're talking a little bit about it right before the show started. LSU obviously a huge win. 3-point dogs at home. Come away with a 15-point win. Down 13-0 in the first half. I mean, weren't perfect. We were not perfect. And I'm happy that we were not perfect. Like, I'm glad that we came out and we beat a team that was supposedly better than us by 2 touchdowns, not being perfect. We're going to get more into that. Brandon Taylor interview at 6:30. That's in 28 minutes. So you get 28 minutes of us.
Tear this motherfucker down.
We gon' tear
What he said.
this
What he said.
motherfucker down.
Hey, listen. And we're going to get into that conversation. We talked about how do you create the juice that we've seen in the past? Like 2019 anomaly, right? The offense was unbelievable. They had this swagger, but the defense was really good. But the offense kind of supplied the swagger that year. Normally, that doesn't happen that way. Normally, it's the defense that supplies the swagger. I will get into more detail about that because watching the videos from 11, getting ready for this Brandon Taylor video, this defense is making me very excited about how they performed and what they did and some of the plays they made. As the game started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you felt the energy start to do this. You felt the defense make. I mean, you just had Greg Brooks with the big hit, Jay Ward with the big hits. Like, you just start to feel it. Reminded me of a lot of the old school LSU defenses that we've grown accustomed to. That brings all the energy. Wild.
It felt just swarming. It felt like every time, even when State caught it, was like there was 3 or 4 dudes around him. It felt like they were just
For sure. And
suffocating.
And look, they had film study the next day, and I'm sure they went through it and they had some things that they can improve on. I'm sure that they're going to look at the film and say, hey, we got to do this better, this better, this better. Obviously, as a whole, it was an elite performance. 289 yards they gave up, but
It's unbelievable.
unbelievable. There's a couple things. Obviously, Mississippi State had a couple blunders. Happens in football games. Not both teams are going to play perfect every game. Obviously, LSU lost the first game of the season because of our mistakes. Good teams take advantage of those mistakes. That's what LSU did. There are things to work on. All in all, though, elite performance. Adjustments. They scored 3 points in the second half. 3 points in the second half. Will Rogers wasn't near it wasn't even close to as comfortable as he was in the first half. Second half, felt rattled, off target throws, rushed some things, threw the interception late. I think it's good. Also, the quick passing game, we started doing that a lot more. That created the tempo, created the fast pace. You saw Brian Kelly on the sidelines, hey, let's go. What happens after that? Running game pops the big long run. That's how that works. You can't get the running game going the conventional way. Let's figure out a way to keep this thing sped up, tire the defense, then pound them through. A lot of things that improved from week 1. A lot of things to work on. Unbelievable NFL weekend. We're going to get to a little bit of that. Now, I have to get off the show a little early today again.
Great.
Remember, it's Monday. So our game, I have a flag football. This is redemption day for me. All right?
What's your record?
Last weekend, I'm 0-1 as a starting quarterback. Last weekend, I had to.
Good on draft day.
It was a look, as a reality check. I had to learn some things. I had to understand how the game is played, and I'm better equipped.
Okay,
I'm better equipped for this game. Now, I don't know if I'm not predicting anything. Outside, I'm gonna play my ass off tonight. Okay. So I gotta come off the studio just a little early, but you're gonna get an hour and 20-ish of us talking the game, talking interviews with Brandon Taylor. Saints were disappointing. I think the most disappointing thing about that. Well, there's a few things. We could have a whole show on what I double dipped this weekend, boys. I went LSU game
with the quick turnaround.
with the quick turnaround. LSU game. Woke up, 8 a.m. wake up call. 9 a.m. in the car on the way to New Orleans. Show up at 10. Like, real quick, I was hurting a little bit. I got to watch the game. The dome was electric. Electric.
Had to be.
Now, obviously, how can it not be electric when you have Tyron and Jarvis on the field before the game, no helmet on, leading the Who Dat chant? Like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because it was unbelievable to actually witness and see in person. Also, the dome that was as good as I've seen the dome in a long time. Like, when it first started, you had people dancing, you had towels waving. The defense played their asses off. Obviously, they're on the field too much. Some couple of phantom personal foul penalties at the end of the game. Maybe an ejection that maybe shouldn't have happened. Cheap shot.
A targeting call that never happened.
Targeting call that just didn't even hit him.
Literally, a phantom targeting call. Now, I've never
Now-
seen that in the game.
Now, at the end of the day, you cannot fumble the ball going into score. I get that. Big. That was huge. That was on us. That wasn't on any referees. And after those calls were blown, you have to regroup, fix that, right? We ended up doing that. Jameis tried to force some things on the field. Everybody talking shit on Jameis, easy.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. This is the Heineken headlines, boys. I'm not trying to have the show right now. But other than that, you had 3 outrageous comebacks in the NFL.
Crazy.
Right? Like, unbelievably, like, impossible. Maybe the craziest NFL weekend we've ever seen. Big Dick Joe is 0-2, unfortunately. 2 games he probably should have won. If you ask him, and you had him sitting there, I wish he was sitting right there. If we had him sitting right here and asking him and talking to him, he would say, absolutely, we should have won that game. Spent a lot of money on the offensive line. Offensive line's letting them down a little bit. Just a little bit. La'el Collins, in particular, has not played very well. I think La'el Collins is a really good tackle. He also has gone against Bosa and who they play?
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt.
Drop
So,
my pack.
You mean Parsons?
I mean, Parsons and Watt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 guys that are, I don't care who you are, it's very, very hard to block them. I think the offensive line hopefully will get better. They spent some money on it. It's much needed.
Your new bodyguards in town.
2 games they should have won. 0-2 though. So it's wild weekend. The human joystick, Kyler Murray, the best street baller in the game.
21-second play. Almost 20.
Best street baller in the game.
20-second
The
play.
2-point conversion may have been the most
I'm going
impressive
to say
thing
it
I've
again.
seen.
A 20-second play. Really think about
Yeah.
that.
They said that he ran 85
Yeah.
yards
85 yards
total.
and ended
Yeah.
up, it's,
He looked like a toddler that stole his mom's phone the whole time.
who said that? You stole
I
that
don't
from
know,
somebody.
but I retweeted it. It was funny.
Oh.
Somebody said it. Well, no, it was in a scouting report when he came out of college that he runs like a toddler that took his parents'
Yeah,
phone.
that's
Does
right.
have like little.
He does. He's so quick and so fast, but like
Look like recess.
he just
Ah,
he's electric and he's exciting. But just do that for 4 quarters, not just the 4th, and
Right.
maybe you'd win the games that you're supposed to win, or it shouldn't look like that. He finishes the game, wins the game in dramatic fashion, goes to the sidelines to celebrate with the Las Vegas Raiders fans, and someone smacks him in the face.
Gets
Smacks him. Now, we don't know if maybe the guy was trying to slap his shoulder pads and missed and hit him right in the face. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that's how I usually
They're-
do it too.
Yeah, they're investigating him. They're investigating, but he got smacked in the face. Wild ending to that game.
5 fingers to the
We will
face.
get to the NFL.
sorry, had to adjust J-Mitt's camera. He got some.
A little
sun.
too dark. You
Yeah.
got too much sun this weekend. Too much sun. So I couldn't
I
see
did
you,
a
Jack.
great
Couldn't
time.
walk into the sun.
Got to pick my spots.
Icarus.
Let's get back to LSU. I think that's what everybody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to hear us talk about what we saw. I told you a little bit about what I thought. What did you see? We watched the end of the game together since we were in the same vicinity of the game.
Yeah. I saw a.
When the sun went down?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I try to stay away from
See,
that.
we were up in the level that they call the suite level.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we were enjoying our moment. We had some AC. We can come out, and then
Yeah.
the sun went down, and he did his duty of being in the suite that he was supposed to be, and then he came to our suite, and then maybe gotten a job offer from our suite. Who knows?
yeah. Shit.
Who knows?
This might be the last episode of the show.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
No, dude. I saw a team that once again I feel like you go game 1, game 2, game 3. It feels like they're still ascending. It feels like they're still getting better. It feels like they're still catching steam. Everyone complained about everything that you saw and how it went, and then you look at the end of the game and you were dogs coming in and you left the 2-touchdown winner, right? So to me, I sit there and I watch the game and I'm like, first, it reminds me a lot about what we saw in the Florida State game in the sense of we need to find a way to start quicker, right?
Yep.
And we talked about this thing before. I think there is something in there, and this is, if I had to guess, this is probably something, and I would understand it 2 to 3 games into the season where they're like, hey, we don't want to resort to this already,
right? I get that, 100%,
but I think
agree.
they're starting to understand that we're not going to power the ball to start this game, so we're gonna have to tempo it to start it, open it up. Then we are able to be able to finesse it and start doing the things that they want to do.
I understand, and I agree 100% with you because I understand as a coach, hey, you know what? We're going to have this game plan, and this is what we want to run and how we want to run our offense to get everything else going. So we practice that. We're going to try to do that, right? Until we prove that we can't do that in this particular game, and then we're going to make the adjustments. In the past, you didn't see the adjustments.
Yeah.
It was, hey, we're going to keep banging our head against the same brick wall that's not budging, and we're just going
No,
to
like you literally did not see the adjustments.
There's no adjustments.
They wouldn't have happened.
Hey, like, you're going to still see the toss dodge. You're still going to see the 1-2 receiver routes. Like, you're still going to see the same things that you saw over and over again, even though it was not working, right? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results? Like, I understand going in there with a game plan. This is the game plan we're going to use. But then it's not working. Okay, make the adjustment. They made the adjustments quicker this game than they did in the previous game. They did it towards the end of the second quarter when they scored the touchdown to end the half, as opposed to the end of the third quarter against Florida State, right? So obviously they said, okay, we need to pick up the sense of urgency earlier. They were in the 2-minute drill in the end of the first half. That probably helped. But it was nice to see the quick passing game.
Yeah.
It was nice to see once they did make the adjustment, get the ball out, get them in some tempo.
And look, I get it. Like when you amongst the community of what actual football is, it probably feels a little gimmicky, right? To be able to come out the beginning of a game doing it, right? But at this point, like you start to look at it and win games and you have chances to win games, you start to think of it like, all right, we can come out and do this. We can loosen this thing up, and just play with some tempo to start the game. And then maybe we'll be able to now start mixing in the run the way we want and need to.
And maybe there's a way to do a little mixture of both, right? Where it's not full 2-minute drill, super high tempo, let's go, that kind of sense of urgency.
Exactly what I mean. That's why I said tempo and not literally 2-minute drill.
Right. Maybe it's like, hey, we're going to go and we're going to start getting this quick passing game in early. Get the ball out of Daniel's hand early, quick. Let him have some short, easy throws. Build that confidence.
Yeah. Now where that may be above my pay grade is exactly how do you script out your first 10 or 15 like that. But that's why I'm not getting paid to do that. That's why I'm not up at 6 and going to bed at 9 or going home at 9 p.m. to do it. So that's what.
But then you see the end of the game. You see the end of the game.
Yeah, different things though.
Different strokes for different folks, baby. But then you saw towards the end of the game, all of that tempo, all of the quick passing, the success. Hey, 4th and 4. Trusting yourself to throw a deep ball, a 50-50 ball, trusting yourself, but also knowing that if I throw this in a position, he's going to go up and get it on 4th and 4. That's, to me, growth. That's confidence. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, well, no, finish the thought because I'm going to say this out.
Now, the only other thing, there's things that you can critique. Was Jaden Daniels perfect? No. Was our team perfect? No.
I don't want them to be in game 3.
I don't want them to be in game 3, right? But I do want to see this.
Yeah.
And if you can go and you can win a team that was supposed to beat you, that was 2-0, that everybody was talking about being underrated and a real deal, a quarterback who may be one of the best in the SEC, and you go and you hold them to 289 yards of offense, win by 15, and still not play perfect, boys, we're in a good spot. A good spot. Now, as far as the quarterback goes, I think he's a winner. I think he makes winning plays.
So that's where
go ahead.
For everyone that is all over Jaden Daniels right now about how he's playing this game and what he's getting done and what it aesthetically looks like, I'm not trying to point the bugaboo out there, but I'll put the obvious out there if you think about it. We got, 2 or 3 turnovers so far on this season? Oh, I'm sorry, 4 turnovers on the season so far. 0 committed by Jaden.
He fumbled on Saturday.
Fumble. right?
No picks.
The one fumble, but no picks, right? We keep talking about him leaving the pocket too early.
Yeah,
Hey,
but the fumble was like a
mesh point deal.
it was a mesh point deal.
right.
It wasn't.
Which-
I mean, I
not
get
a
it, but
true
still,
fumble.
it falls on him.
but
I
not
get
a true
it.
fumble. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got no picks, you got a mesh point, literally handoff
A debacle.
situation debacle, and we're sitting here talking about, oh, he doesn't throw the ball down the field, he's not going through progressions. Well, guess what? Sunday afternoon, I sat there and watched Jameis push and try to go through progressions and try to force the ball down the field, and they lost the game simply because of that, right? He's an elite runner. As we start to get more confidence, as they start to get better up front, as he starts to trust it more, you will see him stand back there and do it. You've seen him do it later in games. It's gotten better.
And here's the other deal. Not only do I want to see him, and I think you're going to start seeing this, not just stand back there in the pocket and survey the field and use some pocket movement and kind of find the lanes to get the ball out. Like, yeah, of course, everybody wants to see that, but like, that's very hard to do, right? Like, I would love to see more of that. I would also like to see a little bit more of like, hey, it breaks down. I'm going to take off. Instead of just taking off sometimes, let's like,
But
listen,
no. But
that's going to happen.
I'll just say this too, and I'm being straight up and like completely honest when I say this. If he was doing that already and showed up doing that,
yeah, right. He would, yeah.
he wouldn't be here.
No doubt. I get that.
Like you're gonna have to start, and I feel like they're doing a good job of coaching it to him
Yep.
and getting it into him, because you're seeing him get out of those habits a little bit and start to trust it as the game goes on and he gets more
It
comfortable.
seems like he's extremely intelligent and very coachable.
And if he was doing,
Very
doing
coachable.
all of this stuff that we want to see him do right now, he wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
He would have never made it here.
Right.
So let's get off of that nonsense right now.
He threw a couple balls. Now, the one thing that we do both agree on, like, listen, the running out, moving, escaping the pocket, keeping your eyes up, getting ready to throw the football, that'll happen. He did it a couple times towards the end of the game, actually. So he threw it to, I think it was Brian Thomas underneath.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Dre Jenkins. He was about to run, sees him, picks him up, throws him. Guy gets 10, 12 yards, right? Great. The one thing that he can control, and I think the one thing that I'm sure that they're focusing on right now in film study is, hey, when you're going to throw a lot of these 50-50 balls, whether it be a back shoulder or a ball up for grabs where you can go high point it, got to give your guys an opportunity to catch it. Can't keep throwing them out of bounds. Now, to your point before the show,
Right.
you said I'd rather, if he's going to go and do that and he's not comfortable yet with that, I'd rather him throw the ball, overthrow it, than try to be perfect and underthrow and start throwing a bunch of interceptions. I agree. Let's try to find a little happy medium.
And I'll say this, and look, I haven't. It's so weird because I haven't seen either of the big games on TV. Right, I happen to be at both of them. Right, and I haven't gone back and watched them, and I don't know if this is or not or isn't happening. But we also don't know if these receivers that are running these go routes are actually holding those lines and giving him a place to throw them open.
Is the cornerback shove getting you to the line?
Are they riding you out of bounds and you're giving
him?
him no spot, and it makes the throws look worse? Or are you actually holding the spot and he's missing the throws by this far?
Right.
Hard for me to believe they are, because every time I see it, they're running on the sideline. It's not like they're running with 5 yards of cushion to the sideline. So I'm wondering if they're actually doing a good job of doing that as well, which is it's a real thing.
Right.
So we don't, and I don't know, and I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying, like, I would have to see something like that to know if that's actually happening, right?
For sure.
BT's in the chat.
What?
He's
Oh,
in
he's
the
here
video
already?
call.
Oh, he's
yeah,
ready.
He hopped in.
Damn. Okay.
I texted you. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Boy,
Okay.
punctual.
Very punctual. All right.
Jacked.
You can see his.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, we're gonna take a 30-second. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?
Didn't feel smile.
All right, we're gonna take a 30-second break, get him set up, and then we'll be right back. You're watching Mik'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Lumber. Why does this mic fuck up all the time?
I mean, who's to say?
It just keeps rolling.
Well, that's the one that we take it on the road all the time.
No, why does it loosen up all the time?
Oh, you got to put the screwdriver in it.
There's like actually a screwdriver.
Yeah, you
No,
got to
this
do a
doesn't
little.
loosen,
Oh,
This-
you talking about
this-
the thing right there? About to say what? Like what?
Oh no,
Can he-
that
so
was
he can
the
hear-
end.
That's
he
about
can
as
hear us,
janky as it
obviously.
gets right there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But we're gonna go to break. We're gonna go to break. Make sure we can hear him. We're gonna get everything.
I thought we were
straightened
on
out.
break.
No, we're still on air.
Okay, let's go to break.
Why is
Anything else you want to say?
I'm good.
Okay.
You could have got my ass right there.
I would never have done that.
I don't
Couldn't
know.
you?
Some of you would do, I think.
No. That's as a producer. That said, you can't have that rap.
We'll see.
I don't want to burn any bridges.
Okay, break.
Oh, not with
Break.
not with you. There's
Break.
no hold the road.
Today's show is brought to you by Dos Equis. Here in Louisiana, we like to have a great time. If you're looking to be the life of the tailgate, check out Dos Equis mini kegs.
Oh, yes,
Hold
sir.
16 beers, easy to tap, easy to pour, easy to chill. Check it out. Become a lifeless
All
party.
right.
You're welcome. Our What's for Lunch segment is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Maybe the best burger in town. If you're not looking for lunch, you're looking for dinner, go check out Doe's Eat Place. They have unbelievable choice of meats. They have unbelievable tamales. They have a great atmosphere, great vibes. If you're looking for a homey Louisiana type of atmosphere, but you're looking for high quality food, Doe's Eat Place is your spot. Go in the back bar, sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, watch some games, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the vibes. Check out Doe's Eat Place, the best place in Baton Rouge to get your meats. Welcome back to Mik'd. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. I'm excited for our next guest. Former 3-year starter, third round NFL draft pick, part of the 18 fraternity. We were in school at the same time. Brandon Taylor. Brandon Taylor, bro, thank you so much for coming on. First of all, before we even get started, how badass was it for you to be on the field and tear this motherfucker down?
Man, that felt so good, man. It just felt good to see former teammates and just to see that everybody over here, on that team alone, you got two plastic surgeons, you got 4 doctors, you got 7 engineers, and you just got guys who keep in life. They really just compete on the football field. They compete after football, and we all celebrated and we got to mourn a former teammate of ours that we lost, Tyler Edwards, due to suicide, and it just brought it all whole to us, and we got some clarity from that national championship game that we lost, because a lot of us didn't get to talk to each other until Saturday after that game, just to talk about that game. So to this day, I still never watch a snap from that game or any type of thing from that game.
You had the reunion, 2011 reunion. Obviously, you got to be around a bunch of the guys again. I mean, that team was obviously, about as good as you can get defensively. Looking at the team now, right, and compared to what they did against Florida State, obviously you play Southern, but Florida State, Mississippi State, you can probably compare both games. What did you see that they did differently, and what did you like about the adjustments they made from game 1 to game 3?
I think each and every week, these guys are getting 1% better, and that's what you want out of a young football team, because you guys still got to realize, okay, we get caught in the moment. It's football season. We're excited. It's LSU playing. We still in a rebuilding phase. We at the beginning of a rebuilding phase, actually. I mean, you got guys from on the defense, guys from Oklahoma State, guys from this is their first time playing for LSU, and you got a head coach who's first time playing for LSU. I know we went through a coaching change where, okay, our head coach is still there, but everybody under him was new. We had Coach Frank came in, Coach Sager, Coach Gonzalez came in from Florida. It's hard to get used to, but I think that these guys are getting better defensively. Because how you let these guys get at you. He's down there, and they played phenomenal. It looked like the teams of old.
Right. Well, I got a little echo. Hold on, I got a little echo. Can you hear the echo, or is that me?
That's just you.
All right.
You've been sipping on that Douce.
Sipping on something.
He ain't stopped from the weekend yet.
Hey, it was a long weekend, man. I don't know. God, my ears are still ringing. I double dipped. I went LSU and Saints game. It was a long one. It was a long one. But you're talking about the defensive old, right? One of the big moves that they did. We talked a lot about it on this show about the small adjustment. They move Jay Ward from free safety to nickel, and they move Brooks to safety, right? I thought when they did that, I said, I think this is going to be the best thing they can do because Jay Ward likes to be in there. He likes to be in the mix. He likes to. You can use his athleticism. He can roam a little bit. What did you see out of that adjustment? Because he obviously had the best game of his career last weekend.
That just shows like, I mean, he's gone now, but that shows like the versatility that a former DB coach, Corey Raymond, instilled into a guy. Jay Ward came into LSU as a cornerback, and that's the same thing that happened with me. And I made the move to safety my sophomore year, and it just pays dividends, bro. Because if you got a guy that can cover and that doesn't mind getting in the mix and getting dirty, that player he's going to be the lead on your team. And if you watch film, bro, Jay Ward, everybody's running, and then he's running. And he's running at a completely different speed because that's a confident player that knows his keys, that knows the playbook. And if you a player that knows the playbook and know what he has to do, you will not hesitate. And players like that, it come a dime a dozen. So everybody on that team and that defense need to match his energy and the speed and intensity that he plays at.
Hey, how much do you feel – we talked about this too. The offense can be as good as it wants to be, right? If the defense comes out and they do what they did and they're knocking people's head off and they're doing what they need and they're flying to the football, that creates the energy in the stadium. Like the offense can score 100 points, but you don't get that same energy that you get from the defense coming up and a guy trying to throw a swing route and he gets his helmet knocked off, right? Like how important is that to you? Once you start feeling that energy from the crowd and you start making some big plays, is that a real thing or do y'all just always go to the game with that juice?
Man, it's always turnovers are the key to victories. Via the offense not giving the ball up or via the defense. And without that, this team and the culture of LSU thrives off of that. And you got to think, you've seen one good game from the offense, you've seen one good game from the defense. Once we get that third phase, special teams, and we play a complete game, we still have not played a complete game with all three phases. And once you get that, bro, I think you will see a scary team, and it's just like it's contagious. It's going to be a big momentum, and we're catching on at the right time.
You're 100% right. They haven't played a complete game yet. I think once they really can kind of start putting this special teams thing together a little bit more, you'll see a lot better play like throughout it because, you know, that stuff bleeds into offense and defense, right? But as we're sitting here, we're watching from game 1 to game 3. I feel like I saw defense play faster. I saw defense play more aggressive. They got home to the quarterback even more. They tackled a little bit better. As you watched them play, but Mississippi State still had a bunch of miscues, drop balls that they shouldn't have dropped and stuff like that. As you watch that team play, if in your mind, what else do you see them needing to work on to continue to get better, to continue to keep going upward and keep ascending this year?
Oh, the thing is, like, the eye in the sky never lies. I can promise you, as much as we're patting them on the ass right now, and they got way more mistakes and a lot more things that they can improve off of. Even the way Jay Ward played, he probably played full speed, but sometimes you can be playing full speed and running the wrong damn way. So it's just a lot that you can coach off of and build off of because we still have not gotten to the meat of our schedule, and we got a gauntlet, dude.
Yeah,
like it's gonna get crazy. Once that cool weather start kicking in, that's when real football start, and that's when you separate the men from the boys. So you got to get that mind frame, the mind right, and then the body will follow. So I think they just need to get the X's and O's right, and once those guys get confidence in the play calls, then everything else will fall in place.
Harold Perkins a real deal, huh?
Oh yes, dude.
Hey,
where did he come from?
Hey, he flies around,
man.
Huh?
He is
Where
a problem,
bro. That's the type of guy like that's your spark plug on defense. He's a walking spark plug.
He's a linebacker that can play safety.
I'm watching him with the ability to play safety. He's a linebacker. I seen him put his hand in the dirt. I'm like, good Lord. What is he not doing?
He might catch a carry
and that's
running
one of
back.
the guys. That's one of the guys you got your starters, but you create a spot for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He can just like you have your 3 safeties playing, he can plug into that.
Wait, time out. But you know how this thing goes at this place, right? Like year in and year out.
Harry
There's always an incoming
Danny
freshman
McCray.
that comes in where you like, hey, dog, you're not gonna be able to keep him off the field. Like he gonna have to play somewhere.
You cannot. Even when we made the change, Jared, from Harry Coleman and Danny McCray to playing safety to playing nickel and outside linebacker.
Yep.
Look what that did to our team.
Yep.
Those two just went ape shit.
But they did.
Yeah, they did.
But the thing is, you're not putting them in the box, and you don't have them out there as robots.
Yeah.
You letting them be the natural athletes
Yes.
that they are, and they gonna create plays.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Half the time, Tyrann Mathieu and Ron Brooks was blitzing. They ass wasn't supposed to be blitzing. But they got to the ball. They understood the assignment, and they knew, okay, I got 2.5 seconds to get to this quarterback before these guys on this back end either get ran out of coverage or they blow a coverage because they know that we're not covering and we're blitzing and we're not supposed to. And they got to it and they made the plays. Football is about instinct.
Yep.
Ed Reed, 50% of Ed Reed interceptions came off of instinct and not the play call.
Yeah.
Yep, no doubt.
Yep.
Oh, man, you've seen Bill Belichick talk about the film whenever he turns around and fools Peyton Manning wherever he's supposed to be rolling to cover one, and he turns around, turns his back, and he's like, I had no idea that he was going to do that. Like,
Exactly.
That's all
And
instinct.
a player like Perkins, you put him on the field and you just pick, his play call is hunt.
Yep.
Go get him.
Go get the
Go
ball.
get 'em.
Hey, that ball, go get it.
At full speed.
You got
Exactly.
you play against Mississippi State, and obviously they didn't have the air raid offense that when you were here, right? They, the Mike Leach offense, the whole deal, kind of dinking, dunking, spread them out. Not many plays, but a lot of crosses, a lot of mesh routes, kind of confusion. I felt like our secondary, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, our secondary played about as good as you can expect against a team like that, because you didn't see a lot of missed coverages. Maybe they made a couple plays. The quarterback's good. Obviously he's going to make some throws, but you didn't see like you saw 2 years ago when guys are running with 25 yards of separation, confused, not knowing what they're going to do. Did you see the same things, or did you feel like, obviously the scheme probably helped to that too?
Mike, now check this out. You can go watch all the film from last year and the year before that in the secondary. Not once have you seen one of these DBs throw their hands up in the air or look at a teammate like,
I've been saying that
that's
for
your guy.
3 weeks straight.
That,
3
I'm
weeks
telling
straight.
you, bro, once you got players that can take accountability, okay, we may mess up on the field. I'm going to take the blame. But once we get on the sideline, we're going to figure it out, because at the end of the day, it's a DB fault at the end of the day, no matter what.
Yep.
You the last line of defense. And to see the way these guys are playing and to play against an air raid team like that, I mean, I can remember going back to playing against Arkansas when they had Ryan Mallett. You can't just completely stop and dominate a team like that, an offense like that. You got to contain them.
Yeah.
And they contained them very well.
Yeah.
They held them to they limited their options. And that's what you're supposed to do as a secondary when you're playing against a good offense like that.
Now, and here's a great. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we've been saying that for a while, and we've been trying to figure out what that attributes to. I personally think if you see the way they play, they're not perfect, but they're not blaming. They ain't got guys running wide open. You don't see guys looking at each other, throwing hands up. I think that speaks a ton to how they're being coached up and how they're being held accountable by the staff that's come in here, right?
You got to know your personnel. You got to coach your guys to their ability. Just like I remember Coach Saban, my brother's freshman year, he came in and he recruited my brother, him and Will Muschamp. They told my brother, they said, we'll treat every player the same, but everybody will not be coached the same.
Yeah.
Because you may react differently to me cussing you out like a dog rather than me just giving you simple instructions.
Right.
Yep.
And you could tell these guys in that secondary and on that defense, they're being coached well, and they're being coached assignment football, and it's showing.
Yeah.
They tackle really well too. You don't miss. A lot of cornerbacks sometimes shy away from the tackling part, but I feel like our secondary does a really good job of when they wrap you up, more than likely you're going down. Now, people had some questions after the first game. They obviously changed that because they didn't have a bunch of missed tackles. They didn't had a bunch of guys in space and they went down. Like that's impressive. The other thing that I want to ask you about is against an air raid offense, a guy that snaps it, gets the ball out quick. You don't really have time to get to him. We had 4, almost probably 6 sacks off of Rodgers. How good does he look at B.J. Ojolari?
Man, you see that number on his back?
He didn't get there for
I
nothing.
know you still going off that Deuce 9. But when I got on the show, I was watching a Heineken commercial, so I know you've been sipping that. That man, hey, that dude is a freaking machine. And the thing about it is, he don't even know how good he is.
Yeah.
He's still raw, man. It's a bunch of those guys on that team that's still raw. Like, they have not tapped into their ability to understand how good they can truly be. And that's what I think that's why the fans are kind of answering, because we know and we see it, and it's just once they get it, and it's that 1% better each and every week. But to get back to what you were saying, how Mississippi State gets the ball out quick, that goes back to great coverage by the secondary. If you don't have blown assignments, they can't get the ball out. And you playing tight and contesting football, you're going to get sacks like that.
Now, so in my mind, look, we can sit here. You can't overlook anyone, correct? Right? You got New Mexico.
Yeah.
New Mexico coming in here next week, or this week actually,
This
right?
weekend.
Take care of business. In my mind, and I'm gonna get up until this one game, because this one game, I don't think there's ever a year here where that game doesn't mean what you think what it's supposed to mean. So you're gonna go Auburn, you're gonna go Tennessee, you're gonna go Florida, and you're gonna go Ole Miss. So we got 4 straight games in my mind that will literally tell the tale of what the rest of this season is going to be. In your mind, what's the key to coming out of that with a 500 and or better and or perfect record in that situation?
That goes back to that gauntlet I was talking about. So the thing is, I said, me and Marlon and Hunt was talking about it on the post-game radio show. At this point, nothing about this schedule or any team in this schedule gets easier.
No.
It gets harder each and every week, and it's just a grind, man. So if you're not getting better each and every week, it's gonna show, and you're gonna be exposed. So it just, they got to keep these guys focused. For one, stay off social media. You don't win games on there, but just keep them in a playbook.
Don't drink the juice.
Once the more they get comfortable with the playbook and get that swag, you could throw in extra plays and more plays like that. But they just got to keep them level headed, and I think the sky's the limit for them. But they got to come out and they got to hit people in the mouth, no matter who the opponent is.
Yeah.
Let's flip it to the offensive side. Obviously, you play on the defensive side, but you have to prepare and you have to scout and you have to go and watch film a bunch of offenses. What do you see from our offense? A lot of people can say a lot of things about Jaden Daniels. I think that kid's a winner. I think that he figures it out. I think he's super athletic. I don't think he's scratched the surface of how good he can be as a quarterback. He's obviously missed some throws, missed some reads, but he makes winning plays at the end of the day. What have you seen from him, and what do you want to see him be able to do a little bit better and just continue to keep improving?
It's awareness and the way to feel pressure is phenomenal, man. But you can still tell, I know a lot of people say, he doesn't stay in the pocket, he runs. The guy probably has PTSD from where he just came from getting knocked. Like that, people understand.
It's real. It's real.
He's a quarterback. People don't understand it until you get hit without knowing you about to get hit, like getting blindsided. You are going to be looking for that for the rest of your life. It don't matter. I done been cracked back on, and trust me.
I checked myself before I crossed the street.
So it's just, I would really want for him to go and watch film on Joe Burrow from the 2019 season. People don't realize and understand how many touchdowns he threw off of broken plays, and his receivers running scramble routes.
Right.
If your quarterback is running laterally, you run deep. He threw a shit ton of touchdowns like that. So for him and these receivers to get on one accord, when they see him break that pocket, okay, I'm running to get open. That's a broken play. Man, you get extra yards off of that. But I would like for him to move in the pocket while keeping his hands on the ball, not just tucking it just to get out of the pocket, to keep his eyes downfield and make those throws.
And you're right, but we also got to understand, that's a fine line of understanding that, right? Because essentially by doing that, you're asking him to take away what is a plus part of his game right now, right? You're asking him to break the pocket and don't look to use what he's always relied on and look to keep throwing the ball, right? So that's not something you get out of there just like that. Yeah. It's going to take time, right? So
you got one.
And then at the end of the day, and this is for everybody, the fans, you got a W.
W.
It don't matter. Jared, if me and you racing and you trip and fall and I win, to hell with what you done, I won. Like
I don't care what you say.
That's why we play the game. You get the W, and then you worry about what you need to correct after that.
Hey.
While we in this dog fight, man, dude, I'm a fight. You seen them dirty Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They got in the Saints head, and they got the win.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's about getting the win at the end of the day, and you make the corrections after that. This guy, I mean, he's still fresh and new to this offense and to the SEC. They're getting better each and every week.
Yep.
And you can't ask for that.
Yep.
Oh, a couple questions for you here. Whenever you see Jaden Daniels and somebody like that come to LSU, which I feel like hasn't really happened before, where they have a running quarterback like that, if you're on the other side of it, how do you prepare for what he does on the offensive end whenever
Man, truth be told, that is a defensive back's worst nightmare because you can't truly focus on your man. And me being a defensive back that loves man coverage, that's the exact opposite of what you play when you're playing a quarterback like that. Because if he see you in man coverage, I'm dropping back 3 seconds and I'm tucking it.
Yep.
When he's pulling it and running it, I can guarantee you he's reading if they're in man coverage or if they're in zone. If they're in zone, he's not going to pull it and run it like that. But if they're in man coverage and I got the opportunity, you leave the gate open for me, I'm walking through.
But hold up, before you ask, and why is that? So people can understand, like your back's turned, right? You in man coverage, your back's turned. He only has to make one man miss.
If he gonna make a miss, bro. He's one of them type of guys. If he even, he leaving. You are not about to run him down.
No doubt.
But also in the same token, whenever you have a quarterback like this, he's not built like a Cam Newton. He's not built like a Tim Tebow. He's not even Anthony Richardson. How long is this sustainable for him to be able to make it through an entire SEC schedule? They ain't even got to the gauntlet yet.
I think that he will have to smarten up a little bit. I mean, the sideline is your best friend. You don't have to take a hit. You can get out of bounds. You can slide. But as long as he's playing smart with his body and knowing that you are now the focal point of this offense and you're a leader on this team and they need you, you're just going to have – they're going to have to work in a way where less design runs. And if he does scramble and get the ball down the field, yes. But you got running backs for a reason. Run your running backs. And if he can break the pocket and get yardage on the scramble, man, to hell with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No doubt. I appreciate you coming on here. We only have a few more questions. Hey, are you in San Diego?
I am in Houston, but you know
it's
I
all
played
sunny.
in San Diego.
I know, but it's all sunny back there. So I was like, damn, is he out on the West Coast right now?
Hell no, that's that Houston heat, baby. We got
You're right.
Baton Rouge had it in spades Saturday.
Hey, the running backs were using the passing game a little bit more this week than they have been over the last couple weeks. Is that a lot harder when the running backs are able to catch the ball out of the backfield and have another guy that you have to defend in the passing game? Does that make it a lot more difficult on defenses?
It really does, because at that point you got a linebacker that's having to spy a quarterback that will pull it and run it, and that can outrun you, and then you got to worry about getting outflanked by a running back. That's what I want to see the offense do a little bit more, especially with the young offensive line and a lot of guys switching position. Run a lot more screen plays, like use it to your advantage. Get that defensive line hyped up and rushing upfield and dump screens off and get those young offensive linemen downfield, making big pancake blocks. And just it's just a confidence builder, man. That's all it is. Get those young guys running forward instead of passing in pass set.
I love that.
You talk a little bit about the defense from what LSU put out, and I think that was one of the best performances we've seen from a defense at LSU in a long time, probably since 2011. We talked a little bit about tear this motherfucker down. Like, whenever y'all had that swag, whenever y'all brought that back, when did y'all know that this was like, okay, we're going to take over this part of the team? Because LSU is kind of in flux, but it looks like after what you saw from Jay Ward, Harold Perkins, B.J. Ojulari, like go down the list, it seems like maybe the defense might be the calling card of this team. When do you know that in terms of what, like the locker room?
It's just, man, it's like an aura. Like it's something. It's like an unscented cologne that you can smell a mile away.
Yeah.
It's a swagger about it, man, and it's a certain type of attitude. Like, it was guys on the offense, like Jared could tell you, man, playing with guys like T-Bob and Will Blackwell, them were some of the dirtiest football players I ever played with in my life. But
Nasty.
we had, like, people don't understand, we got in a lot of trouble off the field as far as, like, fighting and bar fights and all this stuff.
Shady's never happened.
Remember Coach Miles calling us to the office like, Brandon, why are y'all continuously fighting off the field and all this? I'm like, Coach, do we fight on the field? Do we go out there and whoop people ass on the field? He was like, yeah, y'all beat people down. I'm like, all right then, leave us alone. But it's an attitude, and everybody had it. You had 11 guys. Well, I'm gonna say 22 because
all of them.
All our backups got drafted into the NFL as well. They had that dog in them. We was a unit. It wasn't nobody that was gonna come between us. We were selfless. We didn't care who made the play, just as long as the play was made. And we got to celebrate as a team.
I love that. And I think you start to see that. I think you see that with this defense.
I was just about to say, let's be honest. Like, I don't care. Like, you're at LSU. Like, this place will never be played like Oklahoma, right? We had a year in 2019 where we had literally the best year you could ever have with a 1-0 offense. This place is made off of good defensive play. And it just is what it is. You have to play defense here at this place, especially when you play home at Tiger Stadium. Just is what it is.
Hey, are you coming?
And then that's the thing, because the type of offenses and, bro, you got to look at, we got some hellified head coaches in the SEC. And they're only getting better. Like, look at Arkansas. They came from nothing to a freaking powerhouse. They're a top 10 team, and they only getting better each and every week. You need a good, bona fide, nasty, dog-fighting defense in the SEC and at LSU because every week in and week out, it's any given Saturday in the SEC.
Hey, you come to all the home games?
I come to all the home games, and I do all the pregame, postgame radio shows for the away games as well.
Well, if you ever come out to the game and you want to have more fun, you come sit in the studio with us, and we'll talk in person. Me, you, and Jay.
Oh, yes, indeed, man. You know, I'm ready to do a big shotgun. We're going to take it back to them Tigerland days.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm telling you, man, look.
Hey, tell me this, though. I got a question. Who had bigger arms, you or your brother? Don't lie to me.
I gotta give it to my brother Curtis, because you got to think, like, his frame, he's 6'3", 225. Like, he can hold it. When I came in, a safety at LSU, you had to be 6'3", over 230. When I came in, you had Chad Jones, him, Harry Coleman, Craig Stelton,
motherfuckers.
Man, they looked like the freaking monsters when we came into the, like, I'm like, man, I'm like, how am I gonna play on this team? But I hit a little growth spurt, and it worked out for me. That's what that attitude built in. I'm like, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the fastest, so I'm gonna be the smartest and the most aggressive.
No doubt, it worked out. I mean, obviously, listen.
You got a concrete head.
I mean, you talked about the 11 defense. I mean, your two deep depth chart all got drafted. I mean, I don't know if when y'all played Bama in 2011, I think all 44 of the defensive guys may have gotten drafted that year between y'all and Bama. That's how good it was, and obviously it was a 9-6 game. It showed you how good the defense was. They couldn't do anything. Hopefully we get back to that. Do you have the video?
Oh yeah, let me pull it up.
Yeah, we're gonna play this just for you. I just want to bring back good memories for you.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Is like, dude, where did the chant start? Like, how did this even happen?
Oh no.
So that song came out when Jared was in school.
Yeah, that's
so
that's definitely older.
That guy Mike, he's from LaPlace.
Yeah.
And I remember, man, we used to go to Daiquiri Cafe every Wednesday. No, we used to go out every night, but we would be at Daiquiri Cafe every Wednesday night, bro. And I'm telling you, that's the thing. It wasn't just on the field. When people seen us around town, like on campus, anything like, they got out the way.
Yep, I love that.
We wasn't aggressive guys. We wasn't gonna mess with anybody, but they understood, like, okay, we respect these guys, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, an aura about you. They knew when you were coming.
Oh yes, indeed.
You know what I mean? You got it?
Oh yeah, pull it up right now. Hold on, give me 1 second. But this is y'all coming into Neyland whenever that shit was fucking popping. This is the best.
Oh yeah, bro. Man, Tennessee, man, look. I ain't stand a chance after that.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I got a YouTube ad.
Uh-oh. We need to upgrade. There we go.
Take Coach Miles with damn hat on his head.
Halfway on his head. What you mean?
It's something that you pass down each and every year. Like, if you want your younger players to be good, them older players, they got to step up and they got to show it visually, not just talking about it or tweeting about it. You got to go and show and implement that attitude into the younger guys. Now, truth be told, as upperclassmen and as seniors on that 2011 team, bro, we used to get on them dudes' ass that was younger than us, and they respected that, and they only knew that it was iron sharpening iron. Like, bro, we leaving this to y'all once we leave. We gonna be the ones in the NFL betting $5,000 every Saturday on the game. Then if somebody getting the text like, hey, bro, I know that. Now at that time, I like, cuz I know that scholarship check on the 240. You ain't holding up your end of the deal.
Hey, you need to put something on it.
You ain't lying, hey.
Oh man, hey, now you can do it legally. Use our Caesar Sportsbook.
Oh yes, indeed, bro.
That's it. Hey,
just don't call Calvin Ridley.
Hey, Brandon, this is fucking awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna have to have you on again in person when you get in town. If you come during the week, come in town, come in studio. It'll be a lot more fun in person. We're about to have our own in the same building, different room. We're about to have our own spot, so we're gonna have our spot just for us. So come hang out with us.
Oh yes, indeed, man. And I got a jersey for y'all to put up in that spot.
Hey, let's go. Yeah. Let's go. I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate it, man. Take it easy, bro. I'll talk to you later.
Before I leave, hey, Jared, you remember we did that stalk block drill, and you had to block Chad Jones?
Wait, time out. That is the second hardest I ever been hit in college, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck was that? And I swear to God, I think I told that story one time on this show. We did a stalk block drill. If you don't know what stalk blocking is, it's literally just like receivers practicing blocking against DBs, right?
Right.
We did the drill, bro. We go like medium hard on the drill. Like, no. Chad thought this shit was funny, right? So Chad is playing like a safety. I'm playing like a receiver in like a slot.
And
right?
he got a full speed head start.
Chad comes full speed. His helmet is about the size of that framed picture. Bro, this man hit me. I rolled and looked up, and he was just laughing. I'm like, bro, are you serious right now?
I'm a baseball player.
Hell no, it had nothing to do with that shit. If I knew he was doing that, I would have worn his ass out.
Hey, Mikey, that's what you call two-sport athlete on two-sport athlete crime.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. He said, hey, I'm the best two-sport athlete out here, not you. Get out of here. Oh, man. Hey, that's why,
so funny.
That's why I need you in here, because we need more of that. I need more of that. I need more behind the scenes so you can embarrass Jared.
Stories for days.
I know. That's what we need. That's what we need. Hey, bro, I appreciate you, man. You're awesome. We'll see. We'll talk again soon.
Be good, man.
All right, bro. See ya, bro.
Wait. Real quick before you go. How bad did y'all know y'all bet to beat Oregon's ass?
Hey, bro, them people quit in the third quarter. I swear. They quit in the third quarter, bro. I'm telling you, me and T-Bob was talking about this actually Saturday. Come on, you know T-Bob about batshit crazy. So he out there telling people he gonna kill a mama and all this. I'm like, T-Bob, these boys ain't from the South now. They from the West Coast.
You can't say that.
They was in the third quarter. They were like, man, why y'all still playing hard? I said, cuz you have no fucking idea what y'all
We'll line up and do it again.
This man, Les Miles, just tortured us through a training camp. I'm like, boy, y'all. I said, we about to punish y'all.
Ain't ready. They still have. They haven't been ready since that day. Still haven't been ready.
Yeah, they ain't recovered from it, bro.
No, they haven't. Hey, man, I appreciate this. This is awesome. I'll see you.
All right,
next
man,
time I talk to you. Next time I talk to you, be in studio.
We see you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
All right,
Later.
Bro.
I mean, how good was that?
Best interview we've had yet.
A little audio in the beginning.
That's okay.
He ducked his phone in a little water.
I think that's what happened. I don't know what happened, but hey,
what the show's
first of all,
about. That's
he
the
gets
show.
the show. That's the show. He gets it.
That's it.
That's the show, right there. Being able to come on here and one, obviously you play with Jay, and two, we interacted a lot. Obviously, when we were in college together at
Just come on and talk your shit.
at bogeys and shit.
That's
Yeah,
what
you know what I
just
mean? Like,
did.
yeah,
Come on and talk your shit.
yeah, no doubt, and that's it. Like, hey man, we've all been around the clubhouse together. Like, nobody's off limits to getting shit talked to him.
Nah.
You know, and he
That's
knows
true.
it.
It's real life.
It's real. Nobody's off limits. Tom Brady, I guarantee, he's walking into the clubhouse and he's getting shit talked to him too. Like everybody.
That's so funny. You remember
That's
that
what makes the
shit.
clubhouse great. Locker room
Oh,
great.
yeah, it's getting work. And he's like, ooh,
I
Jared.
remember this shit. Like, bro, what the fuck is he doing right now?
I didn't ask for any of this.
Like, what you mean? We just started practice.
And he's laughing. And I know for damn sure you weren't laughing. You're like, this mother.
Bro, I'm like, really? That's what we doing?
Chad,
Really?
5 beers?
Oh man.
You know, I got something.
God, that was good. Good football. Good breakdown of what he saw too.
Might be a weekly.
So weird.
Oh,
it's so
that
weird. It's
is
so
what I
weird.
want. Yes.
Everyone's starting it. Not meaning him, but you know, like we've been talking it. He sees it. Everyone's starting to see. Like this is what we've been talking the whole time. Like, just wait.
Hey,
Don't jump
dub
on the
is
panic
a
button.
dub, baby.
Don't jump on the panic button. Just wait.
Listen to me. I'll keep coming. I don't care how bad or you think it was or how imperfect it was. 3-point dogs at home to a team that everybody said is better than us. A team that says, oh, they're underrated. Like people aren't talking about enough about Mississippi State. To a team that is, or they're playing against a team that everybody's kind of written off. They ain't right back though. You know what I mean? But
6 wins a year ago. A team that was
Disheveled.
very disorganized, not very well led, and they won 6 still.
and
Somehow.
10 guys got drafted.
And 10 dudes got drafted.
Yep.
The talent's here, and like he said, they've been coached better. You can see it. I'm just saying.
Remember when I told you I think there could be 4 guys drafted off our defense before the year started, and you looked at me like I was crazy?
Well, Harold Perkins isn't draft eligible.
He's gonna get drafted out. That's not one of the 4 I'm talking about this year. 4 guys on our defense have a realistic chance, maybe more.
Baskerville worked his way in there.
Maybe more.
100%.
Maybe more. Baskerville, Ojulari, Allie Gay. You have Jay Ward. That's 4 right there.
Converse.
The Converse is gonna get drafted. Our cornerbacks will probably get an opportunity, both of them, right? That's 6.
I'm more impressed. I wish we could have him here for the entire show.
I do want to try to get him on weekly.
Because I want to ask so many questions. I know they never really faced the air raid, but I feel like Oregon's kind of similar to that like defensive like preparedness that you have to go into the game with. And LSU kind of looked the same way, where it's we ain't giving up anything against y'all. Like the scheme that Matt House put together, where there were players coming from every which way, and as good as what's the quarterback's name? Will
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers looked like.
You got
And like, cause he threw some throws where he's anticipating, and he looks like he knew what he
in
wanted
my
to
mind.
see.
I'm just gonna tell you, in my mind, the air raid reminds me a lot. It's like the passing version of like the option or like veer option game.
That's
right?
what BK said.
It is the ultimate alignment and assignment, and you have to play football that way, which means you're gonna give up some yards, you're gonna give up some first downs, but they're not going to beat you. And as soon as you start trying to play hero ball, that's when he throws for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns, and they come in here and dominate you.
Yep.
That's how the game goes. It's same thing when you play the veer option and all that stuff. As soon as you don't play your assignment, that's when they start busting huge plays on you.
Yep.
Because none of these plays are meant for huge plays. Right? They came to the game. They started that game and completely came out here and disrespected us. Two fourth downs early on in the game. One on like their own like 25
or something.
Yeah, like some like come on, we're like, and they left here with losing by 2 touchdowns.
I don't think they got another 4th down after that.
No, they only converted the first one.
You know,
The first one, right?
Yeah. So like that speaks a lot to what you actually saw.
To the point where they had some 4th downs later on in the game that he would have gone for early. That he said, "I'm punting."
Yeah, he stopped doing it.
Yeah, not maybe because they thought they're deep, but whatever.
He
like
stopped doing it. They obviously didn't respect what you had on the offensive side and how you were doing it to come in.
Yep.
That's very obvious.
Yep.
Because if they thought you were good enough to move it and do it, they never would do that.
Right.
Give you the ball in a short field like that.
Right.
So
I don't ever wish anybody gets hurt ever. Like I don't ever want someone to get hurt. But when you start seeing the quarterback getting up slower and slower and slower, and you start seeing him with a little limp, you're like, hey, boys are getting after him. Like that's in 2011, I think the first 5 games of that year, the starting quarterback ended up out of the game. Out of it. That means the backup played because the starting quarterback either got his shit pushed in and he got hurt. And they said, okay, white flag, take him out, put the backup in, right? You were starting, and you're doing this without your best interior defensive lineman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you are getting to them with your defensive end. You're basically your front four. Now you're bringing Harold Perkins on blitzes here and there, right? You're bringing Jay Ward. Like, you're bringing pressure, but it's not like you're bringing the house.
No, you don't have to bring the
You
house,
don't.
though. You don't.
But he's creative the way he's doing it. They're doing more stuff. It's just, it looks good.
And I'm so glad that he spoke about it and what it's like inside the helmet when it comes to Jaden, right? Is we want to say that the people have been crucifying about how much he's used his legs and this and that, like as if it's a bad thing. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. When you realize that you don't have time back there, and who knows when that was that he realized it. He could have realized that in camp, even though he ain't really getting hit. If they're blowing every play dead and he's getting touched on the shoulder and he's like, I don't have time back here, he's going to rely on those. And it's taking him time to get comfortable. It's taking him time to actually start trusting that. I think he's doing a better job. I think it's showing up later in the game. I think it's on the coaching staff to find a way to get him that comfortable early in the game.
Right.
And things will start changing.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Now, I would like to have a little better coverage on special teams.
Yeah,
like
we're gonna have to clean that up.
We're gonna look.
I don't know where the blame is and who to point it
We
at.
made the adjustment,
but I just know it can't keep going that way.
We made the adjustment on one thing. We made the adjustment on the field goal protection. Like, that was better. Let's make the second adjustment before we start playing against the other teams, because here's the deal.
You got to play complete football. You got to play.
Yeah, because if you don't,
Yeah.
you're gonna go out and play Auburn, and you're gonna be favored against Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Like, probably you should be favored against Auburn. You're supposed to go in the game to win, right? That's the deal.
Well, that's where the meter has moved. Now LSU
You're supposed to
looks
win
like
that
a
one.
favorite against
Right.
Auburn.
And so
After Florida State, you're like, oh, that's probably a
Right.
toss-up. Now it feels like
okay, favorite after Auburn, what Penn State did to Auburn, and like what LSU did to Mississippi State, and like all these things. But against teams like that are still in the SEC and are still very capable of beating you. How did Auburn beat Alabama on the back in the those times? Pretty fluky plays, right? Kickoff return, so your special teams can lose you those types of games.
It's the same. It's the same way we're 2-1 right now instead of 3-0.
Yeah.
Right. It just happened to be bigger mistakes.
Right.
But the special teams have, in a way, pretty much put us in tighter games than they should have been.
Yeah.
Right. One of them, the mistakes were bigger than the other one, and it cost us a game.
Thank God they held on the kickoff return.
that's kind of I want to be optimistic, and I'm with you.
No, but it's okay. It's like, that shit happens. It worked
But
out.
that
They
would
held.
have been a monumental
For sure.
And that's shit that can't happen.
Now, we still would have been winning.
I know, but
I
I'm
get
talking about
it.
momentum-wise,
I
and
get
when
that.
everything's going your way. This is when LSU puts you away in Death Valley, Tiger Stadium. The place is on fucking tilt.
I think it would have been a momentum changer, but I think this early in the year, especially with it really being the home opener, you wouldn't have lost as much momentum, say, if you're 6, 7, 8 games through a year and you've seen this happen week after week after week.
That's what
that's when it becomes different.
Now, luckily,
that's what I'm hoping to avoid.
Right.
In terms of
well, I know, but I'm saying I was just talking about in the game past, yeah, it would have been a momentum changer. I don't think it would have been a momentum killer, simply because of how early and fresh this
and
year is.
and we're still winning. Luckily, it's a great teaching point because it didn't count. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you say this holding penalty didn't affect the play. Thank God he did it because it brought it play back. But had it not happened, this would have been not a game changer, but this would have taken not a lot of the momentum that we just gained.
we have to go back and do it again.
We have to go back and do it again,
Yeah.
right? Puts more pressure unnecessarily on us, right? So you say, okay, let's fix this shit. Now, I will give them the opportunity to say, okay, you had one thing to fix. Okay, great. This didn't work. Let's make the adjustment, fix this one. Now, you get game to do it because you don't have time. Now, if you can't fix it after this and it still happens, we got an issue, and special teams coach can get a lot of heat. Just the way it works. You know what I mean? If you look up and down, like, hey, what's been the worst part, you would point out the special teams. And if that doesn't continue to get better, then the blame's got to fall on somebody, and it's going to fall on Brian Kelly, which he's going to take it because he's the head guy. But he's also going to, behind the scenes, say, all right, hey, we got to do your job or you're gone. You know what I mean? Like, you got to fix this.
It also doesn't help that Polian's coming behind Greg McMahon either.
No, but look, Greg McMahon's had his own special teams issues this year at the squad where he's at right now. They had some field goal blocks missed. They had some other stuff that happened earlier in the year. Like,
yeah, I don't. It doesn't really matter who the hell he came behind.
Yeah.
Because like, you're hired to do the job.
Yeah, right.
You get the job done. It really doesn't matter who was there. You know.
No doubt.
It's the same thing as like any coach that's come
Kind of
behind.
with you, Jack. I
No,
mean,
but it's the same thing. That's
No, but
no.
I mean, he's had his own
Because
issues
you're not
at
telling
his
the truth.
school. They had blocked field goals. They had.
It doesn't
they had
matter.
missed
It doesn't
stuff.
matter because if you
Like,
sit there and
that's
say
happens.
you can sit here and say, oh well, you're coming behind Nick Saban. It doesn't matter what you do here. Well, guess what? We got 3 coaches that are gone that have all won, right? Like, or 2 coaches that have gone that have all won. Like, you still got to come in here and get the job done. It doesn't matter who was your predecessor. It doesn't matter what was here before.
that's what that's kind of my point. Is it doesn't seem like he was fit for the job when you made McMahon you forced him into retirement.
Yeah, but you had to. He's not retired. He's coaching right now.
I know that's what I'm saying. So he didn't obviously want to quit coaching. And he didn't.
Yeah, but
want to
we
leave
already
LSU.
discussed this. You had to. If you're gonna clean house, you clean house.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a problem.
It doesn't
You kept
matter.
Brad Davis.
It doesn't matter. Brad Davis was there for like
Corey
half,
wasn't a
half
problem.
a minute. You know, Corey wasn't an issue.
wasn't
Like,
a
you had to
problem?
clean house. You heard him what he said about Corey Raymond.
One of your top assistants. One of your
I
top
didn't think he
recruiters.
should have gotten.
I understand that,
rid
but
of him
Okay, but so like that's
It
not the
doesn't.
point. Yeah.
Brian Kelly don't give a fuck what we think, but he knows that he
He
came.
never
in
called Lou Holtz back. What do you
Yeah.
think is gonna happen?
I'm
here?
writing you a letter.
That was not good.
Brian Kelly.
That was not a good
Can you
one.
please write me back?
That was not a good one.
That's a good Lou Holtz.
That was a little better.
Yeah,
That was a
I
little
gotta
better.
say Lou Holtz first.
Um,
Look, I'm trying to get you back on the staff at Notre Dame. That's pretty good.
That was okay.
Yeah.
That was okay. But what I'm saying is, he came in here with the mindset, I'm going to make a change. He made his change. I'm looking to see the time. He made his change, and the part of that change had to be. I'm not letting you do it.
God damn it! Damn it!
Part of that change is cleaning house,
Yeah.
and so you can't just not clean house. You can't just say I'm gonna clean house and then say, okay, this guy's gonna say. Brad Davis wasn't there for the entire regime. Brad Davis was hired to do something in the middle of the season. Like, he was there for a minute, right? He wasn't there.
That would be the easiest fire to make.
No, but he was good at what he's doing. Like, he wasn't the guy that got brought in by the staff. He got brought in by Woodward, basically, right? He wasn't there. He got the guy. He moved the guys that he felt were.
Who was the former offensive line head coach under Ed Orgeron?
Correct.
Yes. What is their relationship with Ed Orgeron?
He was boys.
What is Brian Polian?
I understand. I'm not saying that Brian Polian's the guy.
That's what I'm saying. That's the
I'll say
same thing.
that's a different argument. Because Brian Kelly wanted his guys in there. He got rid of his guys that weren't here when he got here. So he brought his guy in. His guy may not be the right guy, but to say that he shouldn't have got rid of him, like, he came in there with the mindset of what he was going to do, and he did it. That's what he wanted to do. You can't say, I'm going to pick and choose. You just can't. Brad Davis, to me, is not the same in that same category as the other ones because he was here for less than a year before Brian Kelly got hired.
More like 6 months.
Yeah, like,
Right, it
I-
did a
What?
pretty good job, I would say. You saw the offensive line get better throughout the year.
that's
last
my
year.
point, though.
Right, and now you you had a stalwart as a special teams head coach that was good at what he
I
was
know,
doing.
but he was too much invested into the other staff. That's the whole point. You're gonna come in and you want to put your spin on things and you want to change the culture. You can't.
and why didn't he bring in his own offensive line?
You
head
can't
coach?
have somebody because he liked Brad Davis. Brad Davis was there for 6 months. Brad Davis didn't have enough time on understaff with Coach O to get in the same bullshit as everyone else, right? McMahon was Coach O's guy. They were boys. Everybody was boys with Coach O that left. That were gone. Brad Davis was not boys with Coach O. Brad Davis was hired to do a job, and he did the job very well. So to me, he's not part of that other class that got fired. And I'm not saying those guys aren't capable. There are probably really good guys. But if he came in there with the mindset of saying, I'm going to put my spin on it, I can't have anybody in here that may have some of the old bullshit and start saying stuff behind it because that's not going to create the continuity.
I'm gonna ask you one question.
Okay?
Special teams better this year or last year?
That's not
It's not the point.
the
Doesn't matter.
point, bro.
That doesn't.
That's not the
literally
point.
doesn't
You had a
matter.
4th round kicker. Like, you had different, like, it's.
But and timeout
That's
too.
not how
And
you
timeout
can't do
too.
that.
We're also where you're not being fair at is
Yeah,
we're talking
right.
about a 3-game sample, dude. There's 9 games left.
Yeah, but what's one thing that you could point at?
Yeah, I get it, but we're 3 games in. But that doesn't matter. So you can't sit here and say because 3 games in, like, oh shit, man, I should have kept my old guy. Like, you brought him in here because you believe in him, so you
Listen
give him a
me.
chance
If-
to do
if
it.
every coach said, "Oh, hindsight," and they have to go look back at the decisions they made, they would suck as a coach he gets fired in 2 games because there's too many decisions. When you're a leader of something, especially of a high quality team, football, baseball, basketball, NFL, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're the head coach, you make a decision, that's the fucking decision. And you got to move forward with that decision because that's what you believe in. That's what you invest. If you second guess yourself, what do you think your teammates and the team and the coaching staff's going to do?
Hey,
they're going to second guess you too.
Don't let him do this to you. You realize?
No, I'm just. But this is good. This is mad.
I'm just saying, like, this is the fandom in him right now.
Doubt.
Speaking, that's one. So Lloyd speaking to the sense of like, damn, I see a way for 12-0, and this is the one thing that's holding us back from 12-0. We shouldn't have changed this shit. But that's not how you run a system.
Right.
He came in with a way of running his system, and that's what he did. So if the system ain't working when you reevaluate at the end of the year, then you address the problems. But you can't implement the system and then 2 or 3, 25% into it say, yeah, the system ain't working. The body of work isn't there.
And also, it's like you can't give him the full reign to the program and say, hey, but you can't get rid of this guy.
If you were the head chef at said restaurant, right? Dozy Place. They just fired the head chef and you came in, and their number one thing on the menu right now was made this way with this sauce on it. But you said, I think it would be better with this sauce instead.
And it sucks.
You're jumping to the conclusion already. You're jumping. Wait, no, Lloyd. Listen, I'm glad you're saying this because now you get a chance to listen. If you came in and they said, hey, this is the sauce on it, and you said, I don't like this sauce, it'll be better with this sauce. After 2 weeks, are you changing that sauce? Or are you saying, no, you're not? Well, then you'll never be a head chef anywhere. I can just tell you that. If after 2 weeks you'll never be a head chef anywhere, because if you're that easily swayed, you'll never be a head chef.
And you know what? And if it does, it may not work out. But that's the decision.
But you gotta give it time.
Yeah, and that's the decision he made.
Because the people that came in those first 2 weeks may hate it. Well, you may have missed the next 6 weeks. The people that say, I absolutely love this shit.
I don't see anybody tasting that food and liking it at any part of Baton Rouge.
And it may not be the right thing, but to say that he shouldn't have fired somebody because of what you've seen for 3 weeks, you can't say that, right? Like,
Lloyd, I love it. Lloyd's picking the part that you can't even argue about.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Like the ingredients to whatever they change it. Like, what are you talking? Like, stop. You stop right now.
Stupid.
I'm dead.
All right.
I don't see anybody.
I'm just saying.
Like,
Do you ever see?
You can't say ever because you don't know. You made the adjustment.
No, I'm saying,
one.
do you ever? I don't see.
You don't know.
I don't see.
You don't know. What is making you say that? What is making you say you don't see just because you don't like him?
No, it's not that I don't like him. I have no problem with it. I don't like the way that I've seen special teams from LSU in the last
3 weeks.
Three. I was going to say the previous 3 years before this was probably a thing I've never, ever been concerned about. Okay. And I understand bringing in good recruits But you have punters running down and making tackles. You have Emory Jones chasing people down.
Okay, and that's listen to me.
You know the long,
you have guys fielding.
Wait. No, you said punters running down, making the tackle.
The long snapper recovered the fumble, and the long snapper.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Emory Jones running down and making a tackle on the sidelines. I'm
okay,
talking about
first of all, Emory Jones did exactly what he was supposed to do, except for the fact that Emory Jones said, instead of just doing my job, I'm going to do a better job and tackle you.
Right, but you shouldn't be running 30 yards free.
Okay,
and then
of course you don't want that.
And then there's multiple opportunities whenever your kicker is proven he can kick it out the back, and they don't want him to do it.
I understand that. But
Jaden Waddle returned a punt for a touchdown in 2019.
Like, it happens.
Okay, so you can name one.
Okay.
I can name 4 in 3 weeks.
Nobody's returned a touchdown against us.
There's
no, I'm talking about mistakes.
Okay,
it's been
3 weeks. Like, shit
I
happens,
guarantee,
dude.
Lloyd.
Like, let it work out.
That shit happens. You're an idiot. That shit happens. You're gonna make mistakes.
Oh my god.
But I'm talking about shit that's easily correctable and easily fixable. Where you have guys diving on punts whenever nobody needs to touch it. Like,
okay, you just changed your tune from what you said before the show started.
I know.
100% right there. That's bullshit on your part.
They didn't know what I said before the show.
Yeah, but I do.
Yeah, but it's not true.
That argument over on that comment right there. Because what was wrong? I'm not saying special teams is going to be perfect. I'm not saying it has been perfect. I'm not saying it may not get better. But to say that you shouldn't have fired someone, and Brian Pulliam may not be the guy. I don't think our special teams has been good. I'm not willing to say it's not going to get better. I'm not saying like we haven't had any protection issues on our kicks yet since the first week. Okay, so he fixed that. Hopefully he fixes.
We haven't had a drop punt since. We fixed that.
Let's hope.
Hopefully we can stop kicking out of bounds. And so what are you gonna say when it all gets fixed?
Adjustment. Like let's just make the
Sounds
adjustment.
like adjustments are being made, and other things are not being great as well. That sounds like what happens when you get better, right?
Okay.
You fix stuff.
We have to shut the convo down. I gotta
The
get ready.
chat is.
I know.
On my side.
Listen, of course they are because it's the special teams have not been good. Of course. Nobody's arguing that, Lloyd. Oops. We're arguing the fact that you said that you shouldn't fire somebody and it's going against the what he was trying to do, right? Which I'm saying is wrong for you to think that way because you can't say, oh, you're just going to keep one guy because he believed that Pulliam was going to be good and Pulliam may not be good. He may be gone. But to say that he can't make the adjustment, like give them an opportunity to make an adjustment. You didn't have any return issues. You had a lot of other issues in the first game. Now it's the return issues. Okay, let's fix that.
You didn't have any issues in the first game. You dropped 2 punts.
Return issues, dummy. Like on the other team, we're defending the return.
Oh, well, you can't call me dumb for that. I didn't know which side you were speaking of, what ball you were talking about. Like that was just rude.
I said, okay, defending.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You didn't have any issues with that. It happened this time, right? You fixed it. So hopefully by the next through 2 games, you fix it. It's not there anymore. It's not an issue. That's what I'm hoping. If not, we have an issue. But it's one game. Just because it's 2 different issues that we've had. One got fixed. One has not gotten fixed yet. Let's get it fixed. If we don't get it fixed, you have beef. Until then, let's wait. Like everybody jumps to conclusions so easily.
I mean, they're doing something at practice.
It's unbelievable.
That's factual. You can sit here and act like they're not. They may not be doing it very, very well, but they're doing something at practice. And that's just the facts of it.
I hope they're doing something.
It's really that simple.
All right, boys.
You gotta go?
It's almost game time.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I think.
Wait, do you know who you're playing?
No. I don't know the roster.
No, like I'm talking about just win-loss.
No.
All right, I love that.
Don't matter. Playing against yourself, you know what I mean? Game plan.
Mental.
Yeah. Great show today. Y'all can keep going if y'all want.
No.
I mean, I want to talk about the NFL. We didn't get to. We'll talk about it on Wednesday.
Mike Evans, a bitch.
Bitch.
Pussy.
Cheap shot. 2 cheap shots.
What's
One,
cheap?
Marcus Lattimore definitely should not have gotten ejected.
I don't blame Lenny. Lenny did what you were supposed to do.
Lenny shouldn't have got ejected. Marcus Lattimore shouldn't have got ejected. Mike Evans should have.
Yeah.
Like,
Mike
Marcus
Evans
Lattimore
wasn't even
didn't
a
do
part
anything.
of. He wasn't even a part of everything that went
No.
on.
That's what I'm saying. Like Lenny, I get it. Go in there, defend your guy. You're right there with him. We're fucking in a phone booth fighting.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Mike Evans came out of the clouds because he doesn't like Lattimore locking him up for 2 catches for 15 yards. And he's like, this is the
Right,
second
of
time
course.
he's done it.
Yep.
And so
Pussy
Mike
shit.
Evans, a bitch.
Yep. So I love this was a good
I'm
show.
actually not even scared of him.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Unless my back's turned.
we should clip that and tag him. See what happens.
Wait, I'll call Marcus May.
I mean,
What if you don't answer?
yeah.
Oh, he's pulling up on juveniles with a gun. I think he's got time.
That don't mean you're going to answer.
I'll call T.
Great show today. A lot of energy on the show today. Love that. Love that. Didn't
Good
get to
Monday.
great Monday. Brandon Taylor, great. Gotta get him on every week.
A lot more.
We gotta try to get one.
Does he have time?
Huh?
Brandon, he's got what he said he was doing post game. I don't know what he's pre and post game
Radio.
doing for LSU
Radio.
Sports Radio Network.
I guess.
I think so. Something
I mean,
very close to that.
This is
Yeah,
more.
he's on
This
there.
is
He's
his
on there with
forum.
This
yeah.
is more
If they-
speed.
If they see that, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, damn it, we're wasting his
This
talent."
is more speed.
Put him on special teams.
I hate to do this because I'm having fun. I don't want to leave, but I have to leave. I have to do this. It's an 8 o'clock game. We just have to move the show up at all.
Where do y'all play?
Kathy Park.
Turf.
So, no, Sloppy Field.
Sloppy surface.
But all right.
A couple bets. Get your bets in. Tell the people.
Oh, I like the under of the Bills game, 47.5. Use LSU full. I believe that's the code. That's something
It
confused.
is.
LSU full. Caesar Sportsbook downloaded. Risk free up to $12.50. I like the Buffalo Bills under 47.5, and I like Minnesota plus 3.
I teased them. Minnesota to 10. Titans up to 17.
Yeah, you're a big teaser. Big teaser. All right. I'm sorry. I don't
I'm a
want to go.
teaser.
I don't want to go, but I gotta go.
All right.
Okay.
That's the show.
Like, subscribe, share it. Share it with a friend. comment,
Tag Brian Polian.
Yeah, tag us, comment,
Brandon Polian.
interact with us
What's
on
his
social
name?
media.
Brian.
Bill.
We're on all
Brian.
podcast networks,
Yeah, his dad
Spotify.
looks like a real genius.
Spotify
football
and Apple.
No
accent.
respect.
I mean, it's
over here.
unbelievable. Spotify and Apple. We're mic'd up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Peace.
Loser.